Yep, so I want to focus to the two rebuilding teams in the NFC East. The Redskins and the Giants. I think the Redskins' identity is more so on defense. Adding Chase Young, that gives them 4 first-rounders on that defensive line. I think that Ron Rivera is a very stable head coach. I speak very highly of Ron Rivera. He's not Bill Belichick, not quite, on that level, not elite, but borderline elite, I would say. He's going to bring some stability to that team, and that defense is going to be improved. And you also added, Fuller and Darby in the secondary. The secondary is going to be iffy, but I think that when you have an elite defensive line, I think the Redskins have the potential that could be scary. Then to the Giants, Daniel Jones had a pretty darn good rookie season, I would say. He exceeded my expectations. No Saquon Barkley, he's a beast. Andrew Thomas, he's going to improve the offensive line. Evan Ingram, when healthy, he's one of the better tight ends in football. So Washington is more so predicated toward defense, and the Giants are more predicated toward offense. Now, who's going to have the better future? In my eyes, I'm going to go with the Redskins. I know you were mad about my pick saying, the Redskins aren't going to beat the Eagles this year. I don't know. I'm higher on Washington than most people. We'll see. But either way, I think that Washington is going to have a brighter future than the Giants for a couple reasons. I think by the end of the year, that defensive line is going to be elite. And we saw, I looked up some statistics, okay? The top 5 total defenses this past year, the Patriots, the Bills, the Ravens, the Bears, and the Vikings, none of them won less than 8 games. And we can even throw in the 49ers because they are actually, I think, the 6th or 7th best total defense. They went to the Super Bowl. So anytime you have an elite defense, you can only be so bad. Okay? And I think the offense is actually very underrated. Terry McLaurin, that guy's a stud. Steven Sims, he came on at the end of the year last year. He's got the speed. He improved as a route runner. I like him a lot. And Kelvin Harmon was a steal in my opinion last year. He's still developing, but I like him. And Antonio Gandy-Golden, I think that he can come right in and be the number 2 wide receiver to Terry McLaurin potentially. I like him a lot. And Antonio Gibson, he's a very versatile running back that can run in between the tackles. He can catch passes out of the backfield. He's going to really be a great help for Dwayne Haskins. And I'm going to get to Dwayne Haskins right now. Listen, I know that people are a little bit discouraged by his rookie year. I get it. He did not have the best rookie season. But if you look at his situation, the guy was put in a bad situation, man. Bad coaching, a coach that did not want him, a terrible offensive line, wide receivers that couldn't create separation at times outside Terry McLaurin. And you have to realize, Dwayne Haskins played 1 year of college football at Ohio State. Usually you like to get around about 20 to about 25 college starts for me to say that, yeah, that guy's NFL ready. Haskins has the talent, but just is a little bit raw. So out of all the bad things that went this past year, he got better as the season went on. The last 3 games, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception, the best pass rating in football behind Drew Brees the last 3 games of the season. So I said when Dwayne Haskins got drafted, the guy has the arm talent, the swagger, the accuracy, and the mental makeup to turn that Washington Redskins team around. And now that he has a stable coach in Ron Rivera, I believe Dwayne Haskins is going to be a star eventually. I think that he can develop into a top 10 quarterback. He's got the arm talent. He's slimmed down a little bit. He's not the most mobile guy, but I think he's more like Big Ben Roethlisberger, where he's going to slide in the pocket, move around, evade sacks at times. So I think that he's mobile enough. What team do you think has a brighter future? The Giants or the Redskins? I got to go with the Redskins for all those reasons. What do you think?
Yeah, so you're betting on the floor here in terms of you can only be so bad if you have a very, very good defense with the Redskins. I see your point, but I'm going to say I'm going to bet on the ceiling in terms of, yeah, you can only be so bad if you have a very good defense, but if you have a really, really, really good offense, like I think the Giants could, there's a very, very high limits of what you can accomplish. And I think, like you said, Daniel Jones showed a lot of stuff to me last year that I didn't even think that he had. I thought Daniel Jones was not going to be all that good. I wasn't sure if he was going to be the future franchise quarterback for the Giants, but he came out and he proved a lot of what I thought about him wrong. Obviously, you got probably what I think is one of the, if not the best running backs of football in Saquon Barkley. You have a very, very good receiving core in Golden Tate, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton. You have very solid pieces around Daniel Jones. And you're finally beefing up that offensive line the way you need it to protect the dude. So, if we're projecting down the line for years to come, I think the ceiling is a lot higher for the Giants just because of how many points they're going to be able to put up on their opponents. Regardless of how good the defense is, at the end of the day, you have to score more points.
Defense needs a little work, man. Keep going.
You got to score more points. What's up?
Keep going.
Oh yeah, I was just saying you got to score. You got to score more points than the other team, man. I think that the Giants have the potential to do that. Not to mention that I'm looking at their defense right now. They have some players. You signed Blake Martinez. That's a pretty solid centerpiece for your defense.
Bradbury is a good signing. Bradbury, yeah, he's good.
Yeah. I definitely like James Bradbury. He's a guy that he showed some stuff. I really like Jabril Peppers. I think, given time, we
Underrated.
saw what Landon Collins was able to do within that scheme that the Giants play. I think Jabril Peppers can accomplish similar stuff. I think Cleveland wasn't exactly the right place to groom that sort of talent, but the Giants have some capabilities in terms of improving him and developing him and making him into the player that I think he should be. You got Leonard Williams. Some people might label him as a bust. I wouldn't call it. He's kind of that middle tier in between a bust and a good pick because he's not everything that people thought he would be. But he's still not a bad player by any stretch of the word. You combine him with Dalvin Tomlinson and Dexter Lawrence on that defensive line. That's a very, very formidable front. At all levels of the defense, they have players, and I think that's what Washington lacks to some extent because you have a very good defensive line, but you don't have quality players at every single level of your defense like the Giants do. So for that reason, I project the Giants to be a little bit better than Washington. Not to mention, you got Jason Garrett as your offensive coordinator. I know people have their questions about Jason Garrett as a head coach, but as a coordinator, I think he has potential to do some decent things. I didn't like the Joe Judge hire. I can talk about the Rooney Rule and the flaws with that all day long. I'll just leave it at this. Joe Judge was not as equipped to be a head coach, and he hadn't showed enough to be a head coach as a guy like Eric Bieniemy. But again, I won't go down that road because you'll have me talking for an hour about that.
I know how you feel about that.
Yeah, man. Joe Judge, he did coach under Belichick, he did coach under Saban, so there is some potential there. I like this Giants team, how it projects for the future.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about the coaching really quickly. Really the only reason why I think that the Redskins are going to be a little bit better than the Giants going forward is the coaching. I think that Ron Rivera is the perfect Ron Rivera team. You even look back when Cam Newton was on the Panthers. That offense was not scoring a bunch of points. Now, I don't think Dwayne Haskins is as talented as Cam Newton, but I think that Dwayne Haskins is going to be better than people give him credit for. I think that I like his playing style. This guy has no problem dinking and dunking when he needs to. He can make all the throws. He has the arm strength. He can fit the ball into tight windows. Like I said, he's not the most mobile quarterback, but I see a lot of Big Ben Roethlisberger in him. And Big Ben Roethlisberger won 2 Super Bowls. So I like Haskins. I do. And I like Daniel Jones a lot too. But I think that Haskins has just a slightly higher ceiling than Daniel Jones. And that's one of the reasons why I think that I'm going to go with the Redskins over the Giants is because of the coaching and the quarterback. And like I said, Chase Young, we saw what Nick Bosa brought to the 49ers defense. They had drafted some very good players in that front. DeForest Buckner. There's some players that are escaping my brain right now. But either way, they had drafted some very good players in that defensive front. But they just need that one player to take that defensive line over the top. And Chase Young, I think he has potential to be better than even Nick Bosa. And if that's the case, with Jack Del Rio as his defensive coordinator and Ron Rivera, that's something scary right there, man. And again, like I said, I think the Redskins' offense is very underrated. Now, the offensive line worries me. That offensive line does need some work. But outside of the offensive line, I think the Redskins' offense is going to be better than people give them credit for. And I'm just higher on the Redskins than most people. I know that the Giants fans are going to be mad at me. I got some Giants fans that listen to this thing. I don't care what you guys think. I like the Redskins as having a better future, but I understand why Giants fans have more optimism. And like I said, Daniel Jones, he's a better quarterback than Dwayne Haskins right now today. But a couple years from now, I think the Haskins will catch him. So
the thing that really turns me on, I said that a little wrong. The thing that I really like about Daniel Jones is that, he's just a really, really good decision maker with the ball. He's not going to make a whole lot of dumb decisions that are going to cost you games. And that's coming at a very, very young age with Daniel Jones. The dude just,
those fumbles, though, a little ball security, but go ahead.
Rookie quarterbacks, they tend to have those issues. Even Carson Wentz, he's 4 or 5 years in, dude still has those issues. But I think a lot of that comes from the fact that he was playing behind a pretty subpar offensive line last season. They drafted Andrew Thomas this year, and I think that they project from the offensive line, they project to be a bit better this year, and I know they're going to keep trying to build on that and improve that. So you're going to see the fumbles become alleviated a little bit more as time goes on, but the dude is just, he makes such great decisions.
He finds open man.
I can't pass up on that. And as much as I like Dwayne Haskins' physical traits, I'm not sure if he's there mentally all the way there yet. And I don't want to go down this road of saying, the black quarterback isn't all the way there mentally. That's a trope that's way too outplayed at this point. But
I think Haskins
do
is
think
bright,
that
but this is more of a growing year for him. You know, like Daniel Jones is already, you know, kind of established himself. This is a growing year for Haskins, and he's got to prove himself this year, no doubt. He has to prove he's a franchise quarterback. So I'm banking on potential a little more. I get it, but I gotta go with the Redskins for all those reasons. But you got anything more to say about that?
No, I think we exhausted that, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.